Every time Shoe drops a video, it is like Christmas. Imagine my shock waking up, new Shoe0nHead video means I immediately have half the stream covered. How did this happen? Epstein, Fuentes, and the Democrats' revenge. Let's see what Kami Mommy gotta say.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to inform you that the rumors are indeed true. The Democrats have struck back. In the New Jersey governor's race, the Democrat won. In the Virginia governor's race, the Democrat won. And in the New York City race, Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani
Hey Republicans. Hey conservatives. Hey right-wing individuals in politics. And this is not to right-wingers watching the show or to any right-wing citizen out there, because you all want the same thing I want. But to all y'all in power, I fucking told you. I fucking told you so. You wanna know why this happened? You wanna know why the Democrats made such massive gains? Because you didn't release the fucking files. Would have been that easy. Not only, I've been saying for ages, I've been saying for months now, that your inability, nay, refusal to properly handle the Epstein files was going to cost you. I said it would cost you in the midterm elections. Even faster than that. That is, I guarantee you, that's probably the numero uno reason for all the chicanery going on with the Democrats being voted in. Because when you run part of your election campaign on releasing the files, and you come up with bullshit excuse after lie, after bullshit excuse, after claiming that it's a hoax, all in just the manner of like 4 months. Oh, the documents are on my desk. Oh, you got a bunch of social media influencers posing with the documents. Oh, it's a Democrat hoax. Oh, we don't have a list. Oh, there are no Epstein files. Yeah, this was bound to happen. Congrats, Republicans. You played yourselves. You could just release the motherfucking list and this wouldn't have happened.
defeated Andrew Cuomo to become the next mayor of America's largest city. But the question on everyone's mind is, was it just a fluke? Just easy wins in blue cities and states? Or is there something more to this? Is this a sign of things to come? Is the Democratic Party finally turning their losing streak around? Are they actually listening to the people now? Did they finally learn their lesson? No.
Yeah, I would say the answer to that's no. The answer to whether they've learned their lesson is no. Now, mightn't they be turning things around? Okay, also no, but not for the reason you might think. They're not turning anything around. People are just so upsetty spaghetti with the current Trump administration that they're, like, anti-voting. Which, I mean, hey, that's fine. That's the people's right. If Trump and his cohorts hadn't have fucked up so badly, this might not have happened. With that being said, we still got, a solid 2.5 years of Trump. We've got midterm elections to go through. They can turn things around. Now, will they? I don't know. I'm telling you, man, that Epstein stuff, pretty big black mark. There's been other issues as well. Don't get me wrong, there's been other issues. But I'd wager that's the numero uno issue.
Thanks for watching. My last 3 videos about electoral politics were warning the Democratic Party that young men were moving right because the party f***ing sucks and was becoming the young men eat shit and die movement, spanking the Democratic Party for losing because they elected one of the most unlikable shittiest candidates while offering absolutely nothing to voters, and defending the voters from the wrath of a bunch of liberal streamer man-children calling the voters stupid and evil for daring not to vote for Hillary Clinton and brownface. But the thesis for all 3 of those videos was basically the same. As the right embraces working-class populism, the Democratic Party and the left will continue to fade into irrelevancy.
And while that is true, the right has the right has absolutely embraced, working class populism. The thing is, the right was also able to get major gains on issues that were not necessarily working class populism. When you've got, again, a cabal of pedophiles that run the world, I imagine left, right, and center, we all kind of want that exposed. That was kind of a big fucking deal. Yeah, I'm not going to say it was the only one. Obviously, things like the economy were much stronger issues, because, look, while people don't want, pedophiles running the world, it doesn't really matter to them if they can't afford groceries. So yes, obviously there are bigger fish to fry in terms of, the more immediate to people's future. But even so,
As I also predicted in those last videos, there might be an eventual pendulum swing, and it might be happening much sooner than I predicted. Like, how did we go from Republicans winning the popular vote, in part thanks to a lot of the young people voting, to a bunch of data showing those same young people dropping their support for the GOP already? But the interesting thing is...
Well, also, these were a lot of, like, mayoral elections, and let's be real, a lot of young folk just don't show up to local elections. They don't. Even someone like me, who's very involved in the voting process, very involved in politics, only show up to, like, half my local elections, which is bad. I should do more because, you know, real change actually happens at the local level. But the point is, they're not as televised, they're not as marketed. I don't know that the support, at least the support for right-wing or just slightly right of center populist ideology has gone down, at least amongst young men, as opposed to these are elections that just aren't, that young people don't care about. So
those young people don't seem to be moving to the Democratic Party either. Where are they going? And do the Democrats...
Exactly. They're not moving to the Democrat Party either. They're not going to either side. Why? Because they likely just didn't turn out to vote because they were mayoral elections and shit like that.
Have a plan to scoop these people up. Yes, they do, and they called it... I'm not kidding. Deciding to win. Deciding to win, as if the whole time they have just been simply deciding to lose. It was a choice, guys. They changed their mind and they want to win now. In this video, I will talk about why I think Zohran Mamdani won. We will go through the Democrat Party's plan to decide to win. We will briefly talk about the rise of the political commentator Nick Fuentes.
Oh, I can't wait. Man, I threw Nick Fuentes on the thumbnail for a reason. I can't wait to talk about that douche canoe.
The MAGA Civil War, and what I like to call the inevitable rise of shoe-socialism. If that sounds interesting, stick around. If it doesn't...
Commie Mommy got her own brand, shoe-socialism. Let's go, son.
You can leave. It's not like I'll miss you or anything. But baka. I know a lot of you are not very interested in politics. You come here for the fun Reddit slop, the men versus women content, yeah.
No, I come to Shoes content for the politics. The other stuff is all like fun and like icing on the cake and cherry on the sundae. I come for the politics because she is one of the most politically interesting individuals on the internet. Damn near a communist economically, pretty fucking far right socially after a gradual shift from being socially left, 10 years ago when I first started watching her. Yeah, no, the politics are what keep me coming back, Shoe. Never change.
I know. But unfortunately, politics kind of seeps into your lives whether you want it to or not. So you might as well be entertained when you hear about it, and have some fun with it when you can. And I just so happen to have the perfect app for that. So before we get into this political deep dive, let's quickly give a shout out to today's sponsor, one of my favorite sponsors to work with, Ground News.
Alright, y'all know how it works up in this channel. We don't skip ads. If we're gonna steal their content, we're gonna at least let the ad read play out. That being said, Ground News. I'm a political dude. I'd love a sponsorship. And if you're not listening to Ground News, you guys in the chat, help me, please.
Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers a transparent and easy way to read news from all across the political spectrum, from left, right, and center. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of political bias that helps you understand the full story and makes sure you're getting both sides. One of my favorite features on Ground News is the blind spot feature, which shows you news stories that have been covered by one side of the spectrum and ignored by the other. For example, here is a story about how the White House apparently intervened in an Andrew Tate federal probe.
Janice.
29 news sources covered this. 86% of them were left-wing. None were right-wing. Ground News also makes it really easy to compare headlines to see how political bias can affect framing. For example, this feud between Elon Musk and Billie Eilish. This right-wing headline...
Bro, that feud was so stupid yet fucking hilarious. Like, look. Y'all know I'm pro-capitalist. I ain't got a problem with billionaires, right? I ain't got a problem. You gonna be a billionaire, dude? You get that bag. I don't give a fuck. I did find it hilarious that the broad that wrote the song Bad Guy, calling herself the bad guy, who is a multi-millionaire, is throwing a fit about the billionaires. Again, the irony is not lost on me, though it is obviously lost on these elitists.
And reads, Elon Musk claps back at Billie Eilish after she slams him for hoarding wealth. And this left-wing article frames the same story as, Elon Musk's comebacks are as flat as his attempts at jokes. Very different vibes going on here. I have been using Ground News since 2021 because it is just a—
Yo, shout out, we got a raid going on. We got a boy Hypno coming in with a raid. Truly appreciate it, my man. You guys came in at the right time. You're gonna get your political fix. You got all your good gaming with your boy Hypno, all the good gaming with Hypno, and now we're going hard on the politics on this show. So shout out, and then we're gonna talk some gaming afterwards, just so y'all know. So y'all coming in from Hypnotic Gaming, we're gonna do some politics or some gaming talk after this video. So shout out to the raiders, truly appreciated.
great and fun way to keep up with the news. But don't just take my word for it. Even the Nobel Peace Center called it an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers, and expand your worldview. Best of all, I am currently offering 40% off their Vantage plan, which is the plan I use to access all their amazing features. So go to ground.news/shoe or use the QR code here on screen, or use the link in the video description down below. It's only like $5 a month, which is basically the price of like a coffee. You can also gift a subscription to somebody. Just select the Vantage subscription, add a customized gift message, and Ground News will send it straight to their inbox where they can activate it. The perfect Christmas present for your out-of-touch uncle who gets all his news from Facebook. So thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ad. Right? Now, let's get—
She's always so menacing. I never skip your ads, Kami Mommy. Stop it.
back to the video. For those of you familiar with the Shoe0nHead channel, you know I've harshly criticized the Democratic Party for all my career. Some say too harshly. Frankly, I don't care. And some say I'm not
I say not harsh enough. Is that what she's about to say?
harsh enough on the
Okay.
Republicans. First of all, true, but let's be honest, that's not why you come here. You go to Kyle Kalinske for that, just like you go to
Y'all ever catch me unironically watching a Kyle Kalinske video? I'ma pack it in. My YouTube career is done, boys.
Destiny to see opinions you can hear on CNN, or to Hassan for dog training tips. You come here to hear
Holy shit! Well done. Well done.
Golly G. Willikers, I'm left wing, and the Democrats have gone crazy. That's the shit you're here for. But are the Democrats actually getting their shit together? Or did they simply get lucky in a few blue areas? One of those blue areas being my city, New York, where Democratic Socialist candidate Zohran Mamdani won the election and will become the new mayor. And a lot of people are like really confused about how this happened. And if you're one of those people—
Wait. People are confused about how this happened? People are confused how the socialist, damn near communist, if not already communist, just pretending to be a socialist Muslim, became in charge of one of the bluest cities in the nation, which has busted in God knows how many thousands upon thousands of illegal immigrants who are also allowed to vote, despite what the media will tell you, and they're voting on the basis of, oh, the government's going to be giving me free shit? You're confused as to how that happened? I would like y'all to remember just a few weeks before the mayoral election went down. If you removed the Islamic Muslim immigrant vote, Cuomo was winning. Yes, there were demographic polls that if you took away the immigrant vote, the Muslim vote, and just voted on people who were, actual residents of New York, who were citizens who were not immigrants, Mamdani had like a 23% win rate. Once you add in the Muslim votes, shot up to 52%. That's why he was able to beat Cuomo. By the way, I'm not that I'm capping for Cuomo. Cuomo's a fucking moron as well. But he'd have been a better moron than Kami Mamdani. So yeah, needless to say, I don't know how people can just wonder how this happened. It's patently obvious to anyone that's been paying any sort of attention.
Well, you really need to keep watching. If you don't understand why Mamdani won, I'm sorry to say, but you're kind of like the liberals in 2016 who didn't understand why Trump won. It's actually extremely understandable why Zohran Mamdani won, and it's not just because New York is full of commies or whatever. He is objectively the best Democratic candidate that they've had in a very, very long time. Like, I know the bar—
So when she says objectively the best Democratic candidate, I will say, like, in terms of being personal, in terms of the media attention, in terms of saying what people wanted to hear, even though his policies are bullshit, I'll agree. However, they would like to tout that it was a grassroots movement when later that night after his election, he had photos taken with Alex Soros. Yes, he was 100% Soros funded. So, like, being the best candidate for the Democratic mayoral race in New York City, I'm gonna be real, that doesn't really mean a whole lot.
He's in hell there, but he's young, he's energetic, he's charismatic, and people are really tired of the White House doubling as a retirement home. And of course, I like many of his economic policies. I like the universal childcare thing, the transportation, flipping off the Christopher Columbus statue. That's the shit I don't like. Bitch, that's our fucking guy. He was a brave Italian explorer who discovered America, and in this house, Christopher Columbus is a hero. End of story. I've said this many times.
The slight Italian accent there was nice. It was a good touch. And yeah, obviously his policies, or at least his promises for policies, are things that poor people in New York would absolutely love. The question becomes, where does that money come from? Because free don't actually mean free, son. And when you got all the rich motherfuckers fleeing New York City because they don't want to pay, and subsidize the poor people, yeah, that money gotta come from somewhere. So it ain't gonna work in the long run. But you could see how it would be appealing to poor dumb motherfuckers.
But I don't think the good left-wing policies can even exist alongside the bad left-wing policies. Like, I don't know how you can have free transportation but also be soft on crime. Like, I don't know, like, in what world does that—
Well, you can have free transportation and be soft on crime. You're just gonna get a whole lot more arenas Zaruskis. Like, dude, you can take the bus, it's free, but a cracked out black dude may or may not stab you in the neck multiple times. Just roll them dice, sonny boy.
That work out. You can't have nice, clean, free transportation if a bunch of drug addicts and violent felons are going around stabbing people and setting them on fire. You can't—
See?
Can't have nice things if you don't have rules to enforce those nice things. You know what I mean? It's always such a breath of fucking fresh air when I go back to visit my family in the suburbs of Long Island and I go to the CVS and the fucking toothpaste is free from their plexiglass prisons. I shouldn't have to wait 10 minutes for some poor wagey to come unlock the cagey so I can buy fucking shampoo. We don't have to live that way.
She could have said champagey. She could have gone full Snoop with it and said champagey. Shoe, you disappoint me.
Maybe he'll do great, or maybe he gets into power and immediately cucks to the establishment like some other people. I don't like to talk about it. I just don't know how the hell anyone thought Andrew Cuomo was going to win. He killed a bunch of grandmas during COVID.
As you admitted this.
Oh yeah, Cuomo had no shot. Like, to be fair, if Mom Donnie wasn't there, Cuomo would have won because New York is never electing a right-wing mayor. But, I mean, Mom Donnie was there, and from the moment he entered the race, yeah, Cuomo had no shot.
This week, you personally altered the state health department report to undercount the death total, to hide the death total, and then evaded and lied to these families for 5 years. So
you killed a shit ton of people. For what? Plus, he doesn't even live in New York City. He doesn't live in the city he's running to be mayor of. Cuomo just kind of expected to win based on name recognition alone and being like, hey, at least I'm not the other guy. Sound familiar? Trump actually offered a vision. Make America great again. Mamdani offered a vision. A New York City you can afford. So people took a chance on him. People wanted something different. Andrew Cuomo, he had no vision.
That just goes to, because look, I might not like Mamdani. I might think he's a fucking communist asshole, right? But he a good speaker. He tricked motherfuckers. They fell for a hook, line, and sinker. True politician right there. True politician, son.
Or anything. Oh man, I love tuning into a debate about New York City, and 80% of it is about another f***ing country.
The first foreign visit by a mayor of New York is always considered significant. Where would you go first?
First visit, I would visit the Holy Land.
I would go to Israel.
I'd make my 4th trip to Israel.
Mr. Mamdani.
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address New Yorkers.
Kill shot. Great answer. Dude, I can't stand the motherfucker. But great answer. Where would you go? I don't know. I'm the fucking mayor of New York. How about I stay the fuck in New York City? Kill shot. Ain't nobody in New York give a fuck about Israel. Dude, the Jews in New York living in the sewers. The Jews in New York are straight up cosplaying as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Or Splinter, if you want to be racist and go the rat direction. But I'm above that. The point is, ain't nobody in New York giving a fuck about Israel.
Across the 5 boroughs and focus on that.
Mr. Mamdani, can I just jump in? Would you
visit Israel?
That was the exact moment I knew Zoran was going to win. Bro was just surrounded by NPCs. I love how they're like, where would you go? And Zoran was like, I'm gonna stay here. And instead of being like, no, Zoran, the question was, where would you go? They're like, why wouldn't you go to Israel? Like, that's the answer to the question. Like, that's just...
This is the one, dude. Israel fucking owns us. This was the mayoral debate. Heavily favors Democrats because obviously it's New York and everything they do favors Democrats. And they still had their balls and or vulvas in a fucking vice from Israel. Look, y'all know me. I don't fucking hate Jews, but I can't goddamn stand Israel because I don't like our country being butt-fucked by some small piece of shit country in the middle of nowhere that no one gives a fuck about, but because, oh god, it's the Holy Land, oh man, they got nukes, oh, they like to bomb the brown people. Like, dude, I don't give a fuck. Let them sort that shit out. Let's fix some shit here. Now, fixing shit here doesn't entail electing communists, but I'm so goddamn tired of Israel that, you know what, I kind of get it.
The default answer to that question. His win was very much in part a direct response to the affordability crisis that many Americans are facing. So what is the GOP's answer to the affordability crisis? Oh, great news, guys. There is no affordability crisis. It doesn't exist. It's all in your head, silly. Need to save money? Simply don't buy your grandmother a Christmas present this year.
Budget.
Look, sorry, Grandma. It is what it is, because I know you're watching, and I appreciate you for watching. I'm gonna repackage last year's blanket that I bought you and just rewrap that and give you that in a box.
Budget, you need a plan. Also remember, adults don't need gifts, okay? Focus on the people in your life who are age 3 to 18.
Look, I guess technically she's right. Adults don't need gifts. That's on the surface, that is a technically true statement. However, guess what? I'm in my 30s. I'm gonna be getting my goddamn dad a gift, right? I'm gonna get my goddamn grandma a gift, okay? I'm gonna get my fucking sister. Oh, maybe not my sister. Fuck her. But the point is, there's some key adults in my life that I do love very, very much, and to show them that I appreciate everything we've gone through in the past year, and the struggles and trials and tribulations that we've stuck together through a family as, they're getting a goddamn gift. Now, I don't know particularly what, because shopping for adults is difficult. You can't just get them the new fucking Spider-Man video game and they'll be happy. But I'm gonna do something, so fuck Fox News, bro.
Grandma doesn't need slippers. If they don't live by you, don't get them a gift. Now's not the time to spend and break the bank.
Zoran's win.
What do you mean now is not the time to spend? That's how you fix the economy, is you spend money. Money being put into the fucking economy helps boost the economy. Again, Fox News is retarded, but it makes sense because they are controlled opposition.
Was also basically a direct response to the housing crisis in America. So what is the GOP's response to the pie-in-the-sky, commie gobbledygook that Zoran Mamdani is selling? Surely they have a better solution.
Here we go. The White House is floating this idea. Bill Pulte is saying, thanks to President Trump, we can indeed work on the 50-year mortgage, a complete game changer. How does that work in dollars? Here you go. 30-year fixed mortgage right now. You're paying $2,038 a month, principal and interest on a $400,000 home. At the bottom, under 50 years, you'd save a couple $100 a month at $1,822 principal and interest.
Got an additional 10 years on your mortgage, and you're saving a little more, about 60, what is that, about $67? Additional 10 years on your mortgage, when there's already a housing crisis, mind you, but you can save $67 a year. Bro, get the fuck out of here.
That is proposed. Do you like this idea?
I do not like this idea.
Not lowering prices, not building more housing. No, just being a good little slave to the bank for 50 years. You might as well be a rentoid forever in this case. Like, at least you don't have to fix your own dishwasher. You will own nothing and be happy. Doesn't that sound great, Gen Z? Vote for us. We'll release the
correct, Crovax.
Epstein files and finally drain the swamp.
She broke out the Pam Bondi cosplay. Yo, what a fucking legend.
Awesome. Finally, justice. Here it comes, the Epstein Files Phase 1. We got all your favorite E-celebs here. Don't you think that's a little tacky? I mean, like, this is an international child trap. The Epstein Files are on my desk. Oh, that's great, that's great. That's what we've been waiting for. Well? Oh, they don't exist. Wait, what? Yeah, the Epstein files don't exist. They're a Democrat hoax. But
Fire the broad! Dude, look, I don't give a fuck if you like Trump, don't like Trump. I'm pretty sure that we can all meet in the middle here, though, and say Pam Bondi has been the worst, and I mean the fucking worst part of his administration. This dumb broad is, I would say, single-handedly the reason that the midterm elections are going to go south for the right, but there are some other factors there as well. So let's just be conservative, because I know how much the right likes that, and say it's 75% her fault.
you just said, hey, what the f?
Still would, though, by the way. I mean, absolutely still would.
That's my wallet. Sorry, Israel needs new weapons. Bye. Psst. What do you want, Democrat? Vote for us. Why? What do you have to offer? Hey, that's my wallet again. What are you people doing? Sorry, Israel needs new weapons.
Bro, she broke out the fucking nose ring, too. God, this is such a good video.
Bye. The Epstein files are a really big deal. This is not a partisan issue. You should absolutely care about an international child trafficking blackmail operation.
And you should care about that way the fuck more than whether or not you got Jews and Muslims blowing the fuck each other up thousands upon 1,000 miles away across the world. Like, I'm gonna be real, guys. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Call me anti-Semitic, but I don't give a fuck if the Jews or the Muslims or anyone out there be fucking dying. Call me Islamophobic, whatever. Blow each other the fuck up. You've been doing it for 3,000 years. Do it for 3,000 more. I don't give a shit. What I am concerned about is the fact that pedophiles ran the world. Now, to be fair, they are a bit intrinsically linked because there's definitely some Israel collusion going on with that. You know, Mossad was likely involved. Epstein was in bed with the Israeli government. But it's not just Israel. And this is where Cenk Uygur gets it wrong, mind you. This is where Cenk Uygur absolutely gets it wrong. It's not just Israel. It's also every other major first world country in the world,
consisting of the most powerful people in the world. And anyone telling you to move on is coping, gaslighting, or in on it. If whatever is in there is so damning that it is a national security risk, the people deserve to know. Like, I don't know about you, but if we are paying taxes to
a national security risk, but to what nationality? To what nation? I mean, obviously the U.S. Yeah, we probably did have a lot of presidents and congressmen and senators and whatnot over there, but fucking children. Yeah, I'm sure that happened. But what about the, individuals in the UK, the high up elected officials that were doing the same thing, or in Israel? And let's be real. First world countries in general. You trying to tell me? I'm goddamn sure there are probably some Chinese diplomats also fucking children. The point is, this was everyone.
Of satanic pedophiles. I would like to know. That is information I would like to know. Like, I already know we're doing that, but I would like some confirmation. Okay, so literally as I am filming this, Trump is saying he is releasing the Epstein files. So I guess they weren't a hoax. I'm gonna be so honest. I have no idea what the is going on.
No, they're not. Okay, they're releasing the files. Oh, 50,000 page drop. Guess what? The files, they ain't the list. The files aren't the list. And what we want to see is the list. I want to know if fucking, Shaggy from, the rapper Shaggy and Bill Clinton were fucking, like both boning a 15-year-old girl together. Why the rapper Shaggy? I don't know, because I imagine if you asked him, he'd say it wasn't me. But the point is, I want to know every single person involved. So, we're getting files. The files ain't the list. And even if the list were to come out, why would we believe it after this point? Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter. Why would we even believe that the list was unaltered, unredacted, not changed or altered in any way, shape, or form?
On you guys. I'm sure when this video gets posted, there's already going to be more things that have happened. Also, Mike Johnson apparently said they need to make changes to the files to make sure we, quote, don't do permanent damage to the political system.
No, that's what we want. We want to do permanent damage to the political system. Burn that shit down. You telling me that our political system, the uniparty, the left, the right, all were fucking children? Maybe we should definitely do permanent damage to that.
If releasing the Epstein files would do damage to the political system, then so be it. Then it deserves to be damaged. It deserves to be destroyed. Just release the files. After all, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. Isn't that right, government? But it wasn't just the Epstein files thing that has MAGA feeling a little demoralized lately.
Does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn.
We've talked.
So this is an interesting discussion, right? The H-1B visa stuff is an interesting discussion because this is technically a case of Trump is both right and wrong here. Do we have talented individuals? Yeah, we do. Not near as many as we should, which means we probably do need to import some of the highest, the highest caliber of people from other countries. Look, do we have enough people in the robotics field, in the tech industry, and STEM in general, the whole nine? If we get better from other countries, yeah, I am actually okay with that. Dude, Operation Paperclip. The U.S. government came in and we sniped up all them Nazi scientists and said, send us to the moon, buddy. And we fucking did. So needless to say, on the surface, I'm okay with it. That being said, we don't have near as many skilled individuals as possible, or as we need to have, because, you know, most people growing up in these modern generations aren't going into those fields. They're going into fucking gender studies, or hopefully they're going into trades, you know, plumbing, architecture, things like that. The point is, yeah, the American worker, they ain't doing what they need to be doing. However, H-1B visa is being changed and altered and mutated, and bringing in people who are skilled laborers, you know, people that are doing not even fucking middle management jobs, and that's not what it's for. It's supposed to bring in only the best of the best, only at the top of their field, only at the highest end. Yeah, we don't need skilled laborers. We don't need motherfuckers that can just lift fucking boards and boxes and shit. We don't need middle management. So yeah, it's absolutely being used and abused, and so yeah, I'm against that.
Talked about this a few times on this channel, actually very recently in the male loser epidemic video. The no talented Americans thing is a myth pushed on us by corpos and billionaires, so they can hire foreign workers who will work for less money and won't unionize. Worker drones who will work under the coercion of deportation, essentially creating infinite scab labor. Even though there are so many—
Bingo, bango, bongo. Correct. Infinite scab labor. She nailed it, hit the nail on the head. Shout out to Adam Rabeal out here, remember, for 18 months. Show me the Carfax. Absolutely, show me the Carfax. Shout out, dude. Thank you so much for the membership.
Americans in these fields looking for jobs. But those spoiled Americans will ask for a living wage so they can live in a 600-foot square apartment. How dare they? We can't do that. So import 1 billion immigrants. After all, it's good for business.
Folks are not thrilled about this idea of hundreds of thousands of foreign students in the United States.
If we were to cut that in half, which perhaps makes some people happy, you would have half the colleges in the United States go out of business.
So what?
And it's not that I want them.
Oh no, half the colleges in the United States go out of business. You mean these same colleges, then since at least the 60s, if not the 40s, let's be conservative and say the 60s, have spent the last, 80-ish years indoctrinated our children with pro-communist ideologies, giving degrees in gender studies, making sure that people think that, equity is more important than equality, or they want equality of outcome instead of equality of opportunity. Oh, you mean those same colleges? The same colleges that Donald Trump spent a big portion of his campaign, and honestly, if I recall properly, his prior administration, 2016 to 2020, railing against because of their indoctrination policies, because they take a nice, regular, right-wing, conservative, cute girl that's 18 years old that came from the Midwest, and they ship her off to New York or Los Angeles, whatever, and she comes out a blue-haired feminist retard, probably gained 60 pounds, turned lesbian, and yeah, now it's voting against anything and everything that would actually benefit her because she got suicidal empathy towards the Muslims and the blacks. Yeah, by all means, I would say shut those fuckers down.
But I view it as a business.
Unfortunately, America does feel like nothing but 3 corporations in a trench coat. But America is not a business. America is not a corporation. It is a nation. The contrast of what Trump is saying here compared to how he used to talk is staggering. Republicans embracing populism, at least rhetorically, is what gave rise to Donald Trump and fundamentally changed the way Republicans do politics in America. If you go back and watch the debates of Donald Trump in 2016, it's crazy.
We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East. They lied. They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none.
And here we are 10 years later, and Trump's like, it's okay, I've been doing Netanyahu. Give me your missile, Jew daddy.
There were no weapons of mass destruction.
All right.
I remember being like, damn, that's not how politicians in general really talked at the time. Like, we would see it from Bernie Sanders and maybe like Ron Paul, but to get up on stage in a Republican debate in front of Republican donors saying that kind of shit was unheard of. Bro was getting booed. Trump won in 2016 by decrying the bloodlust and warmongering of the Republican Party, but also by speaking to the economic woes of the average working class American. Basically saying, I see you, to people who felt like they haven't been seen by either party in a very long time. Like, I saw people in my life, my neighbors and stuff, that were all like Obama voters, like just flipped to Trump, and now like
I said it before. Now, was I a young, dumb 18-year-old who didn't know how the world worked when I voted for Obama? Yes, absolutely. Did I switch that vote to Trump? Also, absolutely.
All of Long Island. Long Island is like the Florida of the Northeast, bro. It is like Trump country there now. Before Trump... Oh, my nuggies are here. My nuggies are here. 1 second. 1 second. I must go get my nuggies. It's nuggie time. 34-year-old woman, by the way. Mother, by the way. Before Trump, the Democrats
based. No, say. Just based.
Basically relied on talking about how the Republican Party didn't care about the working class. But eventually, the problem for Democrats was the working class didn't care about them. But now it seems like the Republican Party is going back on all of that and becoming the Bush-era neoconservative party again, right as they're winning, embracing freaks like Lindsey Graham.
So I just want to say, I feel good about the Republican Party. I feel good
about the Republican Party. Well, I fucking don't. I mean, I never really have, mind you, but yeah, I fucking don't. Why don't you say, I feel good about the Union Party. I feel good knowing that we're going to put on this show, and you'll pretend the left and the right hate each other and open purview, and then behind closed doors, we're going to have our private sex parties with children.
Good about where we're going as a nation. We're killing all the right people, and we're cutting your taxes. Trump is my favorite president. We've run out of bombs. We didn't run out of bombs in World War II.
Republicans, is that what you want your party to be? Lowering taxes?
Did you say we didn't run out of bombs in World War II? We literally only had 2 nuclear bombs. That's it. And we dropped them both. Like at least when it comes to nukes. I know there was other types of bombs. Now you have ballistic missiles, shit like that. But we literally ran out of bombs in World War II.
And killing people, we tried that already. To many Republicans, the solution to the affordability crisis, wreaking havoc on Americans, is simply trusting the free market, working hard, and if that doesn't work, they bust out all reliable.
If you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here. I mean, that is a real thing. Yeah, I know that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve...
That's literally what I said. That's why I said Gen X poor, i.e. we ran out. Pay attention.
To live where you grew up, but the reality is that the history of America is almost literally the opposite of that.
Ah yes, the classic. Just move. Just move from Economic Zone 67 to Economic Zone 69. I don't know, man. Maybe...
Nice.
Some people actually like where they live. Maybe they want to make their community better. This is like the libertarian version of just deal with it when you talk to leftists about crime. Like, no, we shouldn't just deal with it. We shouldn't just move. Maybe we can make the cities in our country livable and safe. Maybe better things are possible, actually. My husband and I moved away from our families because of his job, and it f***ing sucks. It sucks raising kids without an extended family around. Say hi to grandma on FaceTime. Not normal, not natural. When I was growing up, it was like aunts and uncles and cousins and grandparents were just coming in and out of my house, like bringing over food, like, hey, I got some mancati. I would be babysat by my cousins and my aunts. And because we moved away, my kid won't have that. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's one reason many young people are putting off having children. The complete lack of community, the lack of a village. If you can't afford to live where your family lives, just move to fucking Gary, Indiana, where there's nobody around and no jobs and no family and no friends, but hey, at least you can afford a house there. That's not how life should work, Ben. Maybe take a step back and try to understand. Am I doing bird hands too much? You guys have made me so insecure about the fucking bird hands thing ever since this meme.
When a little woman brings out this hand gesture, get ready to hear the worst thing in your life. Okay, alright, to be fair, she's Italian, it's okay, she can get rid of it, she can get away with it, because she's Italian, Shout out Piranha for the 4-banger, just because I'm digging Super Leon, heart, and a Superman emoji. Shout out. Truly appreciate it. Thank you so much, Pouty.
Okay, listen, I'm a woman, okay? We are programmed to scold children. And when no children are around, we scold people on the internet, okay? Anyway, Nick Fuentes is a far-right
Yes, let's do it. Let's get into the Nick Fuentes shit. I can't stand this clown show, but, much like Zora Mamdani, I fucking get it. I get why so many people gravitate to him. Hey, he a good speaker. He says a lot of shit that people want to hear, even if he's fucking retarded. I get it. Let's do it.
Commentator and a controversial figure to say the least. But his main topic he covers is Israel, which is an extremely hot topic that many other right-wing commentators seem to not want to touch. And the rare times they do touch it, it's them telling you not to talk about it, questioning why you care so much, or shape-shifting into the woke mob they fought against for so many years, calling you names, calling for you to be censored. What's funny is they didn't care about any of Nick Fuentes' rants on, like, race or women. They only started caring when his rants on Israel were blowing up.
Okay, well, to be fair, I do think Shoe is incorrect here. People did care about Nick Fuentes when he was trying rants about minorities and women and whatnot, so much so that he was banned off of every major platform. I mean, they really did give Nick Fuentes the Alex Jones treatment. He was banned on X for years. He was banned off of multiple video hosting sites. So, like, yeah, needless to say, people didn't care because they couldn't hear what he was saying because he had been ostracized. And again, I'm vehemently against that. Like, hey, I think the shit that Nick Fuentes says is retarded. But as, you know, a pro-free speech individual, yeah, you let retarded people speak. That way we know who the retards are, what they're saying, where they're saying it, the whole nine. And we can counteract bad ideas with good ideas. So I wouldn't say that nobody cared until it was about Israel. It was that he had been kicked out of every, you know, facet of the internet public square for people to not be able to hear the things that he was saying.
Recently did an interview with Tucker Carlson, which completely ignited the MAGA civil war that was brewing on the right for some time now. It got so ridiculous that even Chuck Schumer went on the Senate floor and called for a disavowal of Nick Fuentes. Sir, with all due respect, none. Why do politicians need a resolution in the Senate to disagree with a citizen? Hello?
Alright, here's the dealio, Shoe. I liked that better when you tweeted it. I won't lie, I liked it better when you tweeted it. Like, it hit so much harder in text than just now. Look, I'm a fair guy. I love Shoe, but I gotta criticize her when it's worth criticism. She dropped that bar on X directly to him, and she ratioed the fuck out of him. Like, dude, she ratioed him into oblivion. It was art.
Oh, I have gathered you all here today to disavow Hitler Bussy 420. People can't afford groceries, Charles. Ben Shapiro, in particular, has spent the last few months extremely confused and angry about Zoran Mamdani.
Dude, every single time I see Ben Shapiro, he is going further and further down the Akira Toriyama eyebrow route. Like, just picture this for a moment. Hold on. Let's do a side-by-side comparison here. All right. Let's just type in Goku, right? And we go images. And it's like, look at this. Look at the eyebrows here, right? Look at the eyebrows. Back to Ben. Back to Goku. Back to Ben. Dude. He's got Toriyama brow. I'm waiting. Hold on. We'll make it better. Give it another 6 months. Give it another 6 months, and he's going to go from Toriyama to fucking Kishimoto, right? He's going to go from Toriyama to good old bushy brow Rock Lee himself.
Mamdani and Nick Fuentes becoming popular in the mainstream, all while his numbers continue to drop. I honestly don't think he understands what is happening here, so I am going to explain to you, Ben, what exactly is going on here. The American dream—
Bro is literally Julie. Kid Flash Nacho in the chat called Ben Shapiro Julie. I'm ready to fight you with my pro-Israel no jutsu. That's fucking baller.
Does not exist anymore for most people. Young people followed advice that worked for older generations, and it got them nowhere. Young people are tired of this stale, moldy, old, dead consensus that has dominated American politics for a very long time. The one that dragged us into all these foreign wars and sold us out for some cheap plastic shit from China. Young people are tired of being told to sit down and shut up and pledge allegiance to the free market in a country that seems to not give a shit about them, as well as a foreign country they have absolutely no connection to. For so long, establishment hacks and establishment shills looked at the issues bothering the people and just kind of dismissed them. Can't afford to live where you grew up? Just move. Don't like that the toothpaste is locked behind plexiglass? Just deal with it. Think it's kind of f***ed up how you work 40 hours a week and still can't afford to pay rent? What are you, some kind of communist? You don't like funding a genocide with your tax dollars? What are you, anti-Semitic? If you don't address the issues of the people will gravitate towards those who are addressing those issues. It's not Mamdani's fault he won. It's yours. It's not.
Bingo, bango, bongo. Correct. It's not Mamdani's fault that he won. It's yours. Say it louder. 100%. I don't like having a Muslim commie in charge of the biggest city in our fucking country. In fact, I think this is just a prelude of things to come, and it's gonna get a whole lot worse. But you got no one to blame but yourselves.
Nick Fuentes' fault he's popular.
No, not which is yours. Like, in speaking in terms of the Republican Party.
It's yours. The tragedy of Ben Shapiro is that he led a life worshipping the free market, only to lose in the free marketplace of ideas.
Well, also, the tragedy of Ben Shapiro is that he spent his life, taking advantage of and lying about the free market when really that free market is controlled by Israel. And whether he knew it or not at the time, he knows it now, and he's okay with it. In fact, he prefers it that way.
Now, with all this neocon rhetoric coming out of the GOP, are the Democrats going to pick up the populist ball that they are fumbling? Are they actually going to get their shit together? Well, they are trying, because they have written an article called Deciding to Win, where after interviewing over 300,000 American voters from both parties, they may have finally discovered the secret to winning.
To give ourselves the best chance to win, we recommend the following changes to our approach. Democrats need to 1. Focus our messaging on an economic program centered on lowering costs, growing the economy, creating jobs, and expanding the social safety net.
Hold on. Notice how they say focus our messaging on this. Not actually do it, but focus the messaging on it. Guys, remember, you are being lied to. Not just by the conservatives, not just by the Democrats, by both. We need to focus our messaging on making shit cheaper. They don't say we need to make shit cheaper.
2. Advocate for popular economic policies.
Oh, that's literally the same as number 1. Hold on. That's focus our messaging. So let's talk about our economic program. Let's talk about making shit cheaper. Option 2. Let's talk even more about making shit cheaper. Your number 1 and number 2 points are the same.
Moderate our positions where
Wait, why'd she skip number 3?
Safety net. 2. Advocate for popular economic policies. Moderate our...
How am I gonna know if number 3 was also talking about making shit cheaper? You left it off the list, Shoe.
Our positions where our agenda is unpopular, including on issues like immigration, public safety, energy production, and some identity and cultural issues.
Moderate our positions where our agenda is unpopular, some identity and cultural issues. This is the left basically saying, look, we still want to cut 12-year-old Timmy's cock off, but we don't want to run on that, right? Like, we're still going to be all for transing your children, but we're not going to talk about it on the debate stage anymore because that won't get us elected. Turns out people don't like to hear that we want to abduct your children and forcibly remove their genitalia so they can pretend and cosplay as the opposite gender, of which we're going to pretend there's only 2, but really it's the whole sideways 8 infinity symbol.
So basically it took you guys 10 years, millions of dollars, and dozens of Microsoft team meetings to come to the conclusion that everyone has been saying forever. You wasted a decade worshipping at the altar of mentally ill Karens, and now you're acting like, hey, what if we were normal is a groundbreaking political discovery. F you. I could have told you all this for free. It is a bad sign.
We've been telling them all this for free, but here's the dealio. Again, they're just saying shit. Just like with any sort of politician. They're just saying shit. They don't believe it. They're not going to enact it. It's a lie. They're going to come out there and be like, yeah, no, we do not believe in chopping off 12-year-old dicks. Or do we? Shout out Chimpus Universe for a 99-cent super sticker. Throws the banana at me. Truly appreciate it, brother.
Fine. That it took you over a decade to come to the same conclusion that my audience has come to like a decade ago. And they're all retarded. Please reflect on this, I beg of you. Also, what do you mean you had unpopular positions on public safety? Like, why would you even say that all out? Yeah, let's vote for the party that admits it was wrong about the issue of crackheads shanking people in the street. I love this.
And yet, New York elected a soft-on-crime mayor.
Quote from Nancy Pelosi randomly shoved in here.
Winning an election is a decision. You make a decision to win, and then you make every decision in favor of winning.
How deep? How thought-provoking?
Bro, hold on, let's look at this again. Winning an election is a decision. You make a decision to win, and you make every decision in favor of winning. Does this not sound like something one of them dumb 19-year-old broads on the whatever podcast would say before she's verbally eviscerated by an equally dumb, however articulate man that runs the podcast? Like, we are literally watching the political equivalent of the whatever podcast.
Make every decision in favor of winning.
How deep? How thought-provoking. Thank you, Nancy. What would we do without you? Probably win an election.
Democrats have changed our focus. In comparison with the Democratic Party of 2012, today's Democratic Party is more focused on issues like climate change, democracy, abortion, and identity and cultural concerns.
So more focused on issues like climate change, all right, something that's incredibly divisive, so that's not going to help. Democracy, that's just a buzzword. What do you mean you're more focused on democracy? For one, we don't live in a democracy, we live in a constitutional republic, so that's neither here nor there. But even so, aren't both sides interested in quote-unquote democracy? Also, by the way, you're the same side that used your democracy to harvest thousands, if not millions of fucking ballots to fake an election in 2020. Abortion, oh great, another divisive policy that you're never going to get the right wing on, so that's good. Identity and cultural concerns, yeah, you're not going to get people like, are you fucking insane? So you're focusing on all the same shit you were focusing on before, but you're softballing the terminology. And to be fair, the Democrats might be right to do this. Why? Because if you softball the terminology, you're going to trick the vast majority of stupid people into thinking you've changed.
Let's focus on the economy and middle class. The table below shows the shift. Through an analysis of the prevalence of selected words in the 2024 Democratic Party platform in comparison with the 2012 Democratic Party platform.
This whole study is really interesting, but I need you guys to see this chart because when I first saw this, the scream I screamed. So Democrats since 2012 have increased their rhetoric on race by, sit down, 1,137%. On the
We're just gonna say how much we hate white people more now.
gays, 1,044%. Their rhetoric on
We're just gonna say how much we hate straight people more now.
Men has decreased by 51%. It is now negative 51%. On fathers, negative 100%. They just stopped talking about that shit. Veterans, negative 31%. Them. The economy, negative 51% because nobody cares about that, right? The middle class, 79%, but I guess you can't really talk about something that is disappearing. And jobs, negative 47%. It somehow gets worse. Apparently, voters trust Republicans more on the most important issues to them and trust Democrats the most on the least.
Drug abuse and addiction, the net trust in the Democrats is negative 1%. I didn't know you could do negative percents and shit like this. What the fuck?
Important issues to them. Like, they literally care the least about LGBT, but trust Democrats the most with it. The most popular Democratic policies among voters are things like lowering drug prices, banning stock trading, expanding.
How are you gonna lower drug prices when you're in fucking bed with Big Pharma? Oh yeah. The Democrats did a good job with all that drug shit when they were being paid literal multi-millions, if not billions of dollars by fucking Pfizer while telling us to wear face diapers. Yeah, the logic checks out. The maths, you fucking retards.
Medicare and raising the minimum wage, while the most
Raise the minimum wage, because that has done so much the last I'm pretty sure in my life, since I've been working, I started working when I was 16 years old. I'm in my 30s now, so I've been working for about 16 years, give or take. I think I've seen like at least four minimum wage increases. And yet, economically, we are in the worst position we have ever been in. Correlation and causation ain't always a thing, but here, yeah. Just because I'm pretty sure it's a thing, right? So we see a correlation in terms with like the rise of the minimum wage and the economy getting worse. Maybe there's some causation there because it doesn't actually fix shit. Causes shit to get worse.
Popular Democratic policies are things like abolishing the police, providing free healthcare to illegal immigrants, and affirmative action. You're telling me this for the first time. Democrats, here is some advice for free. You can't just be MAGA light. Why would people drink Mr. Pibb when Dr. Pepper is right there, you know?
Okay, all right. That's some straight up slander. Pibb is awesome. Now, look, I love Dr. Pepper. I love Dr. Pepper. And I drink Dr. Pepper way more than I drink Mr. Pibb. But if I go into Fazoli's and they got Pibb because they don't have Dr. Pepper, I ain't choosing Coke or Pepsi or Sprite or whatever. I'm going for that fucking Mr. Pibb because Pibb is good, right? Like, sometimes you're just in the mood for a Mr. and not a doctor. I feel like that's going to get me clipped.
What I'm saying? You gotta bring something different, something better to the table. And that difference should be working class focused economic populism. I don't just want two neocon parties, okay? But all of this is pointless when it's clear the Dems are not changing at all. They're just gonna change their messaging. They're putting pretty wrapping paper and a bow on a big fat smelly turd. There is a chance that the Democrats may win based entirely on Orange Man bad. Again. Which means they might get into office by learning absolutely f***ing nothing.
And by the way, they've got a pretty good case. This is going to be an unpopular thing to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. Obviously, they should not run on Orange Man bad. That's a retarded way to run an election. Hey, vote for me. At least I'm not the other guy. However, with the fucking wet fart that has been this Trump administration, in my opinion, yeah, they've got a pretty good case for it. Like, there was no case for Orange Man bad from 2016 to 2020. That's what they ran on, and they won, frankly, because they cheated during COVID. That being said, because 2016, 2020, dude, economically, look at what Trump did. He did fucking awesome. Yeah, people didn't like the way he talked, but whatever. I don't give a fuck how someone talks. Y'all don't either. You listen to me. That being said, this administration's been kind of a shit show so far. So that's actually a compelling argument.
Again. Then the voters will go, oh my god, nothing has changed, and then they'll vote for a Republican. American politics is just a revolving door of villains, isn't it? Rest assured, whoever wins, we lose. If you're actually gonna do this shit, if you're actually gonna do what you're saying in this little article, you better be going whole hog, not just a tip. I'm talking embracing.
No, because if they go whole hog, that's even fucking worse. You know, it's wild because it's actually lose-lose for the Democrats in the long term, because if they go MAGA light, but they don't actually go, go down the road of everything that, that MAGA would do, then they lose because the policy isn't as good. If they go whole hog the other direction, great, we get fucking communism. There's literally no winning with the Democrats at this point. Like, as your average American citizen, there is no winning with Democratic policy. But what does it matter if the right has no policy of their own because they're too busy taking orders from Israel?
Shoe0nHead. For many years, I have been smeared as many things. Grifter, flip-flopper, fence-sitter, racist, sexist, homophobic. But
I don't know, those last three things, that's pretty fucking hot.
I am not a grifter, flip-flopper, or a fence-sitter. I'm simply living in 2055. You see, America has been a hyper-capitalist, economically center-right, socially center-left country since about the mid-century. And I know libertarians in my audience are gonna be like, it's not capitalism, it's cronyism. Okay, whatever the f you wanna call it, it sucks, okay? So what if instead, and hear me out, what if instead we were a more people-focused, community-focused, working-class-focused, economically left, socially right country? All the data
that would be being economically left would still be objectively terrible. But again, at least Shoe has been consistent on this. I've been watching her for 10 years. She has been very consistent on her social left economic policies. So you know what? Yeah, she's certainly not a grifter or a flip-flopper. I'll give her credit there.
Shows more people fall into that quadrant, the populist quadrant, the socialist quadrant, if you will, than the current system we are in today. If a socialist party existed, it would be incredibly popular, but it doesn't exist. And that's probably by design, honestly. The Social Democrat Party of Denmark has passed many progressive policies that liberals in America would only dream of. Protection from rent hikes, free college and healthcare, carbon taxes, and a very strong welfare system.
All of those are terrible. All of those are absolutely awful. You cannot scale, Denmark has a population of what? Like 3 million or something like that? Hold on. Population of Denmark. Sorry, 6 million. 6 million. I was off by half. So you can't scale a population of 6 million to a population of over 350 million, not including illegal aliens, draining that system. It does not work.
But the Social Democrat Party also believes in a strict immigration policy. They believe that if immigration is too fast or chaotic, it puts pressure on working class communities, weakens social unity, and makes it harder to maintain their strong welfare system. Wow, what a f***ing grifter Denmark is. I feel like so many people nowadays are like terminally left-right brain to the point where like they look at issues and instead of being like,
Chippest Universe for a two-banger says you chose Pib over Pep. 100 lashes, also, yes, gay! No, I love Pepsi, I do. Like, between Coke and Pepsi, I actually like Pepsi more. I just drink Coke more between the two because Coke is often cheaper.
That solution makes sense to me. I believe that. I agree with that. They instead go, that's the left-wing solution, therefore I will believe in that. And it's so stupid and hyper-partisan and makes absolutely no sense to me, and that's why I think like a lot of left-right brain hyper-partisan people don't understand me or people like me. That's why they call me a centrist or fence-sitter or flip-flopper or whatever. And it's like, no, I'm not a fence-sitter. I have many strong opinions. You just don't like them. And no, I'm not a flip-flopper just because you don't understand the concept of having opinions that don't perfectly fall on the arbitrary, always changing left-right axis that is American circus politics. There's nothing incoherent about my beliefs on paper. None of them contradict one another. I don't understand.
Correct. She's 100% right. Which, I mean, that's why I've been watching her for as long as I have. That's why I've been watching Shoe for 10 years. Because even though she has got, economic policies and other policy beliefs that I disagree with, A, she's been consistent about them. B, she can articulate them very well. And C, she doesn't fucking trounce individuals as racist or misogynist or whatever for disagreeing with said politics. I mean, yeah, no, absolutely. I think that she 100% hits the mark here.
She likes free healthcare but doesn't want to chemically castrate children? She believes in workers' rights but wants a stricter border? I don't get it. Like, where is the contradiction? I'm basically just Bernie Sanders before he got his spine surgically removed by the DNC. In conclusion, MAGA and the Republican Party embracing populism is what made them so popular in the first place. But if the Republican Party's answer to all these issues young people are having is, F you, just move, you're not talented, maybe you'll own a home when you're 70 years old, they're doomed. Like they had a small, brief fling with populism and ghosted it. Just pumped and dumped. Like a fat whore they're ashamed of and won't bring out on dates in public. As I'm editing...
To be fair, if you are dating a fat whore, you should be ashamed to bring them. Really, you should be ashamed in general. You should be ashamed in general. Fucking cut the carbs, work out, get a hot bitch. Stop fucking fatties. It's bad for you.
Trump and Mamdani had a meeting together, and it was very interesting.
We were discussing when Bernie Sanders was out of the race, I picked up a lot of his votes, and people had no idea. When he was put out of the race, I think quite unfairly, if you want to know the truth. Many of the Bernie Sanders voters voted for me, and I felt very comfortable, frankly, in seeing that and saying that. I would feel very, very
and this is true. I'm glad Trump recognizes this. A lot of Bernie bros voted for Trump. Now, your boy was never a Bernie bro, because Bernie Sanders' policies were fucking retarded. However, yeah, a lot of Bernie bros did vote for Trump.
Comfortable being in New York, and I think much more so after the meeting. We agree on a lot more than I would have thought.
I'm sorry, this is my new favorite problematic yaoi ship. They love each other. Maybe it's not over, folks. Maybe the power of friendship and populism will save us all. Listen, I want my kids to grow up in a safe and affordable world where they can get jobs and they can start a family and then they can have the same for their kids.
Yes, but for that to happen, we would have to divorce ourselves from both Israel and China. We're basically in a polyamorous relationship with Israel and China, and we're the battered, abused wife, and we're afraid to leave either of them for fear of what could happen to us, or even worse, we're delusional and think they can change.
And I feel like at the end of the day, that's what most people want, left and right. They just have different ideas on how to get there. It just so happens my ideas happen to be the correct ones, and if you disagree with them, you will be sent to the re-education camp. Do you want one? Do you want a nuggie? Pledge your allegiance to Shoe0nHead, and you get a nuggie. So that was that little video. If you liked it, please subscribe for more, and if you want to help support the channel, donate to my Patreon, link down below. All patrons get every single video uncensored a day early. If you can't or don't want to support me on Patreon,
fuck you.
That's fine.
That's why. Oh, that works too.
I don't care. I didn't want you to anyway. Baka. Okay, I will see you guys soon with a fun slop video, just in time for Christmas.
Excellent video. Excellent video. I'll link this in the chat for you guys. Yeah, give it a like. This is clearly getting clipped into a video of its own. Yeah, I think it's a brilliant video. I disagree with a lot of what she said in that video. I disagree with some of her takes on Nick Fuentes in terms of, like, why people didn't care about him. I absolutely disagree with her economic policy and her Bernie bro mentality. That also would not work in the long run. But if I had to be honest, if I had to give credit, it would still be better than what's going on with, like, full-on communism. Like, again, do I think a lot of those policies, a lot of those economic policies, infringe on our freedoms as individuals? Yes, absolutely. I think that, like, for example, free healthcare is a complete infringement on our rights, because that's effectively makes, you know, the medical industry a servant class, because if you've got people that are, you know, mandated to do that sort of work, which is what it would be. If there's free healthcare, that means you've always got to have doctors on staff, means you can't refuse people, whatever. Like, that effectively makes people entitled to others' labor. Yes, that goes against our rights, that goes against freedom. I find that to be just intrinsically a net negative. That being said, all in all, on the social aspect of that video, she wasn't wrong in the slightest. She was not wrong in the slightest. Brilliant video. 10 out of 10. We'll watch again. Make sure you guys like, give a sub, the whole nine. Also do the same to me. Speaking of, these are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Let me know on X, where you can find me at Both the Word. And please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. This might not necessarily be nerdy, but you know, every time Kami and Mommy drop a video, we gotta react to it. So yeah, check us out on Instagram at wordsparadise_Leon and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose the articles we go over on a day-to-day basis, choose the videos we react to on the daily streams, and of course get involved with over 250 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to grow even further, because we do care about diversity. Only one kind of diversity of thought that's interesting to you. Join the Discord, hit subscribe, and until next time, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.